Do you feel like killing somebody today? No? Alright, so you should sign the petition, change.org, and fight against the censorship. I guess all those here who think that the freedom of speech is important and we should be allowed to say whatever we want to as Indian citizens should protest against this, I think. More important, I think what became after the making of this film, at that time I was just so busy with sort of thinking about these concepts and these ideas and all that. But after the film being banned, I suddenly realized that how much freedom of speech is related to all this, why this exists the way it exists, and why certain things are allowed and not allowed. Also because we are not allowed to speak about it and we are not allowed to say about it.
First, I would like to congratulate you for making such bold movie. My question is, what were your exact feelings when you came to know that your film was banned?
I guess I was angry all along about the things that are happening around us, and we just cannot seem to be able to do anything about it. At least at the most basic level, what we can do is speak about it. I mean, that's just the most basic level. And now, sort of, censoring it means you cannot even do that. So, I mean, I was just angry, and I'm still angry. So I'm just trying to figure out how to still fulfill the purpose of the film, right? I mean, so they are not allowing you to take it to theaters. So maybe we do these kind of screenings, right? So I spent half a decade of my life trying to make this. Maybe I'll spend another decade to sort of go door to door trying to show the film. So I don't know, but it's just not a good situation.
I have a question about the homosexual relationship portrayed in the film. So you, I mean, simply put, you could have shown that two girls run away and the father catches them and blah. But what made you choose, what made you think that you could add layers like she shoots the boyfriend and the other one is sleeping around and hence they're having relationship problems, etc. I mean,
what is the second one?
The non-Indian woman apparently had wanted to sleep with someone every day and they had issues between them.
Right.
So did you purposefully portray them as grey characters and not just two clean romantic lovers running away?
Well, every frame that goes in the film, at least from a serious filmmaker, has a reason for it to be there. So first of all, that's the case. So all the layers that are there for a reason. I mean, you should sell the DVDs later on. You should watch it over and over again. You'll find so many different layers that are there that are just I cannot also go back. I mean, I watched the film over and over again, and suddenly a new I realized that this is why I did that. So, but in the process of writing your film, in the process of making a film, in 100 minutes, you're trying to bring in so many different concepts and complexity. Like you said, it's like a newspaper. I mean, newspaper tells one kind of story. What we're trying to do is we're trying to create an emotional drama, and still trying to deal with all those concepts that we read in everyday life in our newspapers. And it's just not, it's a tough task. So what you have to do is you have to sort of build different layers of it. Obviously, when you want to talk about homosexual characters, or I don't know if that term even works, it's a fluid sexuality, there are different layers of it, right? It's just like, you cannot make it like, you cannot also put them in a box, that they are all just one kind of people. So my job in the film on both sides of the story, in Muslims and homosexuals, to create archetypes, characters, who represent within that particular identity, sort of different kinds of characters that I can touch at. So you will see on the Muslim side of the story there is a fundamentalist Muslim, there is a liberal Muslim, non-married Muslim, there is a Muslim who is apolitical, who just cares about doing his job and making his money and living a good life in America. There is a Muslim who was a fundamentalist, now is an atheist, and he's just kind of don't know where to go, right? Same way, if you, and these are parallel characters, so if you do the study of the film again, you will see that every single character on one side of the story has a parallel character on the other side of the story. So you will see sort of Leela is more of a fundamentalist homosexual, if I may say so. You see Sakhi is more of a liberal scholar parallel to Farid. You see Chandra, who was once a homosexual, then got married, is now aborting the kid, doesn't know where to go, more like, parallel like Najib. You have a sort of very sort of flamboyant homosexual character who's again sort of doing busy his business, using his minority status to sort of do his business. So I mean, so all those archetypes were created, keeping all those things in mind.
How do you choose to make the cuts from one story into another story? Like how do you, at what points, I mean there are of course points at which you make the cuts, but then how are those cuts sort of significant to the telling of the story?
Well, they are very significant. So I mean, two things. I think what you're asking is more broader level of editing on the film. When I was coming from one story to another, not. So there is a certain quite a few things. A certain rhythm needs to be kept in mind in terms of how much of this story you're telling and how much of that story you're telling. So there has to be a very balancing act needs to be played there. Then also, like I said, characters were in parallel. The film has events in parallel. Film has spaces in parallel, where each and every event takes place on the one side of the story. So the spaces are very symbolic. So the most violent scene happening in a theater space has a certain meaning to it. The lovemaking scene between girls happening on a land where we don't know where it is, sort of an impossible place to be, has the choices of going from one story to another were keeping in mind sort of a balancing act, coming back and forth, and also showcasing the parallels significantly. And then obviously it had to sort of create a dramatic nerve, sort of a rhythm in terms of going towards the climax. So kind of those are the reasons.
So first I would like to congratulate you. It's a very powerful film that you made. The question that I have is, when you make such a film, what is the target audience that you have in mind? So do you make it for a niche audience? First, do you make it for an audience at all, or is it just an expression that you just want to put out there? Second, if it is for an audience, do you have a niche audience in mind, that a certain class of people who look at this film and who should debate amongst themselves? Or do you make it for a broader audience which includes all types of people as you have portrayed in the film? You can really go on and make the honor killings as a reason that has been given. So we cannot deny that such people do exist. So is it a part of the thought process while you make a film, or does it come afterwards?
So I can talk personally. Yeah. It was for I, me and myself, and then IIT Q A.
While you make the film?
Yeah. So as a filmmaker, I think, this question was asked to me at recently film played in Boston International Film Festival. This question was asked again over the other. First of all, I need to really appreciate that this is an amazing audience. This is the first time that the film has been screened, actually second time. The first time was IFFK, but second time film has been screened, and I'm having a conversation after the film to the audience to really know their reactions. So the only optimism as filmmakers, if you're trying to do this kind of thing, we can have is from the youth of this country, right? So first thing I feel kind of okay, if you guys would have behaved like the audience who watched it in New York, half of those Americans walked out of the film. They couldn't digest the violence, and they were like, one of the jury members, it was playing in Chelsea Film Festival. So out of the 4 jury members, one of the jury members walked out. So how stupid is that you cannot even do your job properly, right? And I was so the question was asked. I'll come back to your question. But the question was asked. Why is this so violent, and why is it to be so sexual? I mean, it doesn't need to be. You can tell this story in any different way. And people walking out. And so my only answer was, maybe the problem is not the sex and violence in the film. We see much more sex and much more violence in every big Hollywood and Bollywood production we do, the problem is that it is political. The problem is that sex and violence, when it's mixed with religion and politics, that's what we're not able to digest and not able to live with. So, coming back, it just when, on a personal level, when I'm thinking of a concept and I want to tell a story, I think it's just, I have to somewhere not be a politician. I have to somewhere not be able to try to win audience, right? And in our mainstream filmmaking also, we try to win audience because we have to tell a film for a certain audience, a broader, as many people will like it or hate it. So, I mean, if you want to truthfully do your work, you just have to somewhere sort of give it up and say, in any case, I cannot judge what you're going to think about my film. I don't know, even if I target, let's say I'm going to make a film for you, I don't know how to come up with a film that I can make for you. I can only make a film that I completely believe in, because I have to live with this for half a decade. I have to wake up every morning and try to get it done. And I cannot do that unless I'm so passionately involved in it, because it makes perfect sense to me. So I can only make them for myself. Now, after it goes out to public, I mean, everybody's going to have their own interpretation, their own liking. They may hate it, they may like it. I mean, I really don't know.
Hi. I'm quite happy that you have made this film. In the way you choose the character, the actors for the character, like being a mom, I really like mythology. So, so my question is, was there any deleted scene you have edited and you have deleted some scene or not? Which was more bold or anything?
No, I didn't delete anything because I think it was bold and it shouldn't be there.
Okay.
The deletion a lot of time happens, you still want to tell a story a certain way in a certain time period, and then you make a choice, it should be there or not. So no, I mean there are others section.
So the two stories which you portrayed, was there an intention of a connection between them? Do you intend something? So they actually are on different topics. So the freedom. Like, what did you why did you choose these two stories? So there are like freedom of expression if you wanted to portray freedom of choice. There are many cases in the world. So what made you choose these two stories?
Just so that you can ask me that question. That's part of the reason. So let me tell you. So it was when I conceptualized the script and there were two parallel stories. The question was many times asked that why cannot they can meet somewhere. You can explain a little bit more why they're together, what all. And I just didn't want to do that. I mean, we see a new genre where Babel, Syriana, Crash, and there's several movies where several stories where they sort of kind of meet somewhere. And suddenly the question is lost. So if I would have done that, kind of somehow the audience start making sense and say this is why they're together. I didn't want to bring them together at all because I wanted the audience to think exactly what you said. Why are they together? And I'm not going to answer your question why they're together. It's for you to think. You can watch again, think about it. Audience has to do some work. Filmmakers cannot do all the work. I can only say that they are there for a very particular reason. This is not a film about this story or that story. This film is only when those two come together and you think about it, why they're together. That's when this film comes together.
Hi, I would like to know what kind of research you did before, during this film, by making this film.
Research about?
Yeah, when you're writing, making this film.
I guess I was doing research the day I was born in Muzaffarnagar. So it's like I have seen religious violence firsthand growing up as a kid. I have homosexual friends who have been raped. I have I have first-hand experience. I have known people very close in life who have seen these kind of brutalities. as per research, I mean, there's enough in media every day about these things. Work for me was not more researching. Work for me was how to bring this together. Work for me was like, how do I tell this so that I'm able to reach the concept that I'm trying to get at. Yeah.
First of all, like, my reaction to the movie was, I still can't feel it. Gave me goosebumps. I had some different emotion which I haven't felt before. Thanks to you for that. My question to you is, well, your movie, okay, your movie, you made it for Indian Bollywood, like that's what you thought about, like releasing it for the whole public around India. So what made you feel that the Indian cinema at this point of time will be taking something like that? Like people would be ready to accept something like a movie like this in Bollywood cinemas and go and watch it?
Hope.
Hope. Okay. And being more elaborate about it, just keep like you wouldn't spend your the last 5 years just on a word called hope. Probably you had something in your mind more intricate.
Yeah, Hollywood has created a business out of hope. I mean, every film is about hope. Look, I've been told that I'm very pessimist in my thoughts and in my filmmaking. But I think with that pessimism in your work brings a certain kind of optimism in terms of whatever you reflect in your work. So that's all I can say, hope and optimism. Unless, just to answer back also maybe, unless you do it, then what do? I mean, Bollywood films are being made the way they're being made, right? I mean, what else do? You make it and hope it that it will go out. I mean, there is no other option. Is there any option?
The casting was awesome of the movie. Any special thoughts behind the casting? I mean, especially it was a treat to watch Victor Banerjee after a long time.
Thanks for saying that. Bhanu, would you please come here? I mean, it's just like the actor is sitting here, one of the actors, and we have to introduce him. What was the question?
You cast great actors.
I cast great actors. Yeah, he wants to take the credit.
Any special thought behind while you had selected the particular actors for the different roles in the movie? Especially Victor Banerjee, I mean, it might be some I too have born. I mean, it was a treat to watch.
Lots of Bengalis here.
Bongs are racist people. Eh? I mean, it just looks like that. They're just like racist people. They just want. Okay. Yeah, okay.
The whole cast was very great.
Yeah, so no, really, it's just like casting a film is, especially this one was a very challenging, more for the girl side of the story, because there were lots of girls in Bombay who are ready to go naked, and there are lots of girls who know how to act. To find that combination where they're ready to go naked and they also know how to act was really a challenging task. So that's one. Regarding Victor Banerjee was not the first choice. And I'm glad that happened. I'm glad that happened because I think my first choice would have been wrong. So I went to a little better known, I should say better known, Victor is very well known. I'm saying more sellable Bollywood actor. That's the actor I went to. And because my hope was that he signs the movie, I'll get this movie made much quicker. And so he read the script and he just really wanted to do it. But he said, why don't you chop off this and that and this and that, and this is too much sex and too much violence. We'll do it this way. So I was like, oh, he's an actor or director. So, but I, as like a good student of cinema, sat down about half an hour with him, tried to explain him why, what, and gave him some lessons, his STEM package, and all that. He did not budge. So that that happened, and then I sent the script to Victor Da, and Victor Da just read it and said, yes, good to go, and didn't take any money. Yes, I only paid you.
Anyway, congratulations, sir, for this awesome treat.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, talking about money, how much time did it take to get the financial backing for this film? As in, considering it's such a bold topic and not everybody want to back it. So.
Still asking for money.
I'm still asking for money. That's coming from my team because they don't get paid enough. Also, it's like, why somebody takes half a decade to make a film? It's about 60 days of shooting. If I have my editor sitting with me, 4 months of edit, pre-production about 3 months, I'll be done. It takes 5 years to make the film because you run out of money at every next step. So it was a challenge from the get-go. And another sort of story over there is like the first financiers of the film were Muslim doctors in US. And after I was done shooting New York, they said, "Why do you have to make the other side of the story? It's done. We have the film, right?" And I was really surprised. I said, "Wow!" So on one hand, you want to get this story being told. On the other hand, suddenly you have a problem with that other story, though you knew all along that this is what the film is. So I had to say thank you very much. Figure it out. So I mean those kind of things. But there are many challenges. Who wants to put money in this kind of movie? I don't think any major. I mean I tried here in India. I tried all the big name studios. I went to them and nobody.
So why did you shoot this movie?
Huh?
Because all the phones are old. Smartphone in your movie.
I didn't use a smartphone.
We didn't have a budget for
We had to use a big red camera. So we couldn't, no, there was no intention to make it using the smartphones.
Yeah, hello sir.
Just one thing about the smartphones. I think, today it is a lot said about, because, camera is available, everything is available, like you can quickly go out and make a movie and, like Godard also said once that, one cinema will become as cheap to make as, at the cost of a pen. Everybody will be able to write it. Bullshit. Okay? Cinema is not made through phones and cameras. Cinema is made through ideas and thoughts. And we see more availability of technology and we see more lack of conviction, thought, and style of making films. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, while making this film, did you think it might get banned? Because the movie is banned, right, in India. So while making it, you could have thought it might get banned, so how would be able to make any kind of profit out of it?
No, really, I did not think it would be banned. I thought I knew that they will ask for cuts. I knew that. And I knew that I will fight and whatever, has to happen. I did not really think that we have gone that regressive,
so
that we will just ban. I did not think that. I did not imagine that. Maybe I was just too out of touch with Indian contemporary quality or something. But
so you do the risk.
So my question is, I believe you wanted to reach to a particular kind of audience to change the mindset, okay? Because the mindset is regressive, whether that is according to religion or sexuality. Now, in hindsight, do you think that you could have made a lighter film because the chances of this film getting banned or the number of cuts were very high? So now that you cannot reach the people whose mindset you want to actually change, in hindsight, do you think that you could make the film a little differently and reach out to those people in a subtle way?
okay, I think the bigger differentiation in that is I'm not a social activist. So when you say, I'm really not making cinema with sort of activism in mind, because there are activists who are fighting for homosexual rights every day. There are activists who fights for religious rights every day. I'll use more of a Gramsci term, sort of, we are organic intellectuals. Whatever space, whatever work we do, we try to do kind of work that can bring some change. So I'm a filmmaker. My job is to make a film, and a film that I'm convinced is the right expression. And that's what I can focus on. I really cannot focus, just saying to make a lighter film, that would not be my film. I would not be making my expression. I would be making an expression that get passed through censor board. And if that's what we want to do, then that's what we're doing. I mean, that's what censor board job is, to self-censor us as. So their job about censorship is not about censoring that particular film. Their job is so that as a community, we start self-censoring ourselves, like you said. Let's make it a little lighter film. We'll be able to reach the audience. But the audience will not experience what they just experienced. They will experience their story about the same concept. I mean, I can also stand for 90 minutes here, take a mic in my hand, put a camera there and tell the story. That's a different experience. Cinema is a different experience. The images I use, the sound I use, how far I go with it, how I present it, it brings a certain experience to the people watching it. And how much they're moved, how much they're disturbed, like everybody thinks it's a very disturbing film. It's disturbing because it's made this way. It would not have that impact. So, I mean, I can just do my job as a filmmaker.
The film is really, really nice, and I want to ask one question: is did you put this on YouTube and charge people for this?
No, not yet. But maybe we'll see what we need to do. Still the goal is to show it to as many people. Goal is also to get the money back.
YouTube can do that job. If you put that on YouTube and charge some money to the people, then they can watch and also you get some money.
Everyone is so worried how you going to make any money from this.
Everyone is so worried. I think that's why they're saying that, and it's good. I mean, because these are future entrepreneurs. They want to do the right thing. They want to tell the right stories, and they want to figure out a way to make money out of it. I'll come to the MBA class here. Probably meet some of you guys. Do a brainstorming session how we can make money. But I think just YouTube would not be sufficient.
Hello, sir. You filmed the two parts of the film, like in the two different parts of the world. So were you specific about addressing those problems in those parts of the world, or were you being universal? Because the sexual violence and the sexuality part you have filmed it in India, and the religious part you have filmed it in the US. So,
well, of course there are some localized concepts and thoughts, and some ideas that are broader and philosophical that can be translated to anything. But, yeah.
And one more thing is, what made you draw an analogy between the religious violence and sexual violence? Because you could have taken the film in two different parts as well.
They're connected.
Did you feel that the audience will connect? Thank you.
Hello, sir. The movie which you have made, it reflects your intelligence and your sensitivity towards this problem in the society that I really appreciate. But what I find, the effects which you have used, the scenes which you have put in the movie, like people are debating on that, is it required? So I agree with you that it is actually required, because these scenes would actually create what is going in the backside in the society, so that people can actually feel that terror in their brain, so that they can realize the situation. So I have a very simple question to you. You are intelligent, you didn't join IIT, I don't know why. You could have joined, but which character of the movie you would like to live in your real life, if you get a chance to live?
This is like a filmfare question or something, right?
And I know the answer, so be honest.
I don't know what answer you have, but in a way, I'm living all those characters. Especially the key characters that are parallel on both sides of the stories. They all have a part of me. So I just cannot say one.